Welcome to the third episode of Safeguarding Our Nation, a national conversation series on security, leadership, and public trust. I am Marcia Hope. Today we're joined by Mr. Wendell Blanhum, Crime Chief of the Guyana Police Force, a career officer who has served in several senior roles within the Guyana Police Force and is widely recognized for his work in modernizing investigative methods and building strong community partnerships. In this episode, we'll be discussing crime trends, what the data is saying, and how law enforcement is tackling organized crime and violent crime while working to build public confidence. Chief, what should the public understand about crime types, trends, and the scale of the problem?
Hello, Marcio. Hello to members of the public. Crime today is dominated by disorderly murders, property related offenses, excessive alcohol consumption, drug trafficking, particularly at border locations, domestic violence, and cybercrime. These trends guide our priorities. The reality is that most of the crimes are committed by a small minority of the population, and that is why most of our attention is focused on key offenders and hotspots. In a small country like Guyana, incidents feel bigger because they're close to home. But we must keep in mind perspective, especially when it leads as newspaper headlines. We therefore urge members of the public to stay vigilant, avoid spreading false and misleading information, and always confirm or verify information with official police sources. Together, we can keep our communities safe. We are here to work with you.
The statistics show violent crime is down, but many people still feeling unsafe. Why and what's being done?
I understand that very deeply. Fear is shaped by experience and not numbers. In reality, even one violent crime is one too many. My message is we are listening, we are working, and we will not stop until every Guyanese feels safe. Having said that, I think there are three reasons for this perception gap. One, every crime, no matter how rare, has a real victim. And those stories spread faster than statistics. In a small society like Guyana, every incident feels closer to home. Two, high profile incidents, for example, a shooting or robbery, stay in people's minds and fuel fear. They overshadow the progress we have made. Three, we as police must do more in showing the public what has been occurring behind the scenes. For example, increased visibility, community awareness and engagements, and public awareness programs aimed at urging persons to desist from listening to false or misleading information and to conform with reliable sources. We urge the citizens to work with us, share your concerns with us. Together, we can make Guyana safer. Together, we can work with the public to close the gap between perception and reality.
What are the main strategies you're currently using to fight crime?
For me, policing is about protecting every citizen, ensuring that they feel safe in their homes, communities, and daily lives. And that is why we are focused on what I would call the three C's. One, crime prevention. Two, community presence. And three, collaboration. Crime prevention. We continue to rely on our crime data to target hotspots to prevent crimes. Community presence. We have increased our deployment across all the crime prone areas to ensure that criminal elements do not take advantage of vulnerable persons within our communities. 3, collaboration. The Guyana Police Force continues to collaborate with community groups and our international partners to tackle everyday crime and organized crime threats. We also have an increasing involvement in our youth activities, whereby we target the members of the communities who are vulnerable and who are more prone to engage in a life of crime.
Chief, can you comment on the Adriana Young case?
As a father, I also felt the heartbreak of this case that affected us all. I wish to also take this opportunity to express my sincere condolences to the family members of Adriana Young. It was a tragic loss that shook the entire nation, and we have learned from it. The sad reality, however, is that there were factual circumstances, and those facts were hijacked by persons with sinister motives and lawless behaviors. The case of Adriana Young is still listed as an active investigation. Detectives were advised to continue further investigations, and on completion, the case file will be forwarded to the Director of Public Prosecution for her legal opinion. Additionally, the former Region 3 commander, along with several of his ranks and the civilian, remain on administrative leave. I also wish to address an issue that is in the public domain. On Monday, the 16th of June, 2025, the Guyana Police Force, contrary to standard operating procedure and in the interest of full transparency, shared with the family attorney for Adriana Young her autopsy report. However, it was later brought to our attention that the attorney told members of the media that the Guyana Police Force is still withholding the postmortem report. This statement is inaccurate, and the Guyana Police Force is committed to full transparency in the Adriana Young's case.
So, the final question: how are you tackling youth crime, and how are you directly engaging them?
Youth crime worries us all, and we're actively engaged. We meet regularly with youth groups, schools, and community groups nationwide. We do not just talk, but we listen to their concerns. The Guyana Police Force has, over the years, been supporting youth initiatives. Only recently, we had a soccer tournament in some of the communities, and that tournament was spearheaded by the Commissioner of Police and other senior officers. And in the final analysis, we received positive feedback from members of the community. And initiatives of this nature will continue in the future.
Crime Chief, thank you for joining us and sharing your insights today. And to everyone who tuned in, if this conversation helped answer some of your questions or sparked new ones, we want to hear from you. Leave a comment, share your thoughts, and send us your questions. This is Safeguarding Our Nation, a conversation series on national security and public trust. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.